Well, I thought about doing an anecdote for tonight. And then it occurred to me that some of you might be interested to hear what's been going on with my friend Boobaloo. Now, as you might recall, Boobaloo first came into my life when there was a fortuitous strike of lightning. Lightning hit the trunk of my car, which just so happened to be filled with a menagerie of meat cuts. And that lightning did a Frankenstein on that meat, and it melded it all together and reanimated it. And from my trunk arose this creature with the horned head of a cow, the body of a pig, the legs of a horse, and down his back, the wings of a turkey, a chicken, and 6 ducks. He was a bovine, porcine, turducken Pegasus. And I named him Boobaloo. And we became the best of friends. He is my beloved pet. Well, as you might recall, when we last talked, Boobaloo was trotting off into the cornfield with dreams of flying south for the winter, which he did. But a week ago today, he came back home from his migration. And boy, were my husband Dennis and I excited. We were so glad to welcome him home. It's really easy to have him. We have a fenced in backyard. We live out in the country. I have a she shed out back, which is now a he shed, because that's where Boobaloo's staying. Well, he needed some food, because he's pretty hungry after this long migration. So I decided to take him to the TSC. Now, for those of you with only an urban education, the TSC is the Tractor Supply Company. If you live on a farm and you need it, the TSC has it. They have everything from tractor parts to cattle feeders to dog food to paddle boats for your backyard pond. So I got Boobaloo into the back of the pickup truck, snapped in his safety harness, which my husband was so handy and created for us. Safety first, And we drove off to the TSC. See, the wonderful thing about this store is because of its merchandise and its clientele, everybody is welcome. You want to bring your dog, they're welcome. You want to bring your cat, they're welcome. You want to bring your in-laws, they're welcome. As long as they have their shots and they're on a leash, they're welcome at the TSC. So Boobaloo fits all of the above categories. Now, when he's just hanging around our backyard, he just wears a bridle. But taking him to the TSC, when we arrived, I got him out of the back of the pickup truck, clicked a lead on his harness, and in we went into the store. I needed to pick up a 30-pound bag of exotic animal feed. And I was so happy to have Boobaloo back that I told him we could go to the animal enrichment aisle and he could pick out any toy he wanted. So we walked into the store. I had Boobaloo's lead in one hand. I'm pushing the cart with the other. We made our way all the way back to the back of the store where the feed is. And let me tell you, it's like being in a store with a celebrity. Because of his gentle heart and his striking features, everybody wants to pet Boobaloo. Oh, he's so cute. Can I pet him? Yes, you may. What is he? He's a bovine, porcine, turducken Pegasus. Is he purebred? Near as we can figure. So I got the exotic animal feed, got it loaded into my cart, and we went over to the animal enrichment aisle. And Boobaloo looked at all the toys. The shelves were full, and He looked at a Frisbee. Well, we kind of have a history with Frisbees with an unhappy ending. So we moved on from that. There was a big ball. It might be fun, but looks kind of boring. And then we both saw it at the same time. There on the shelf was the Mega Deluxe Super Extreme Giant Kong. Now, a Kong is a toy for animals made out of super indestructible rubber. It looks like an Art Deco traffic pylon cone, and they're hollow in the center. Now you can throw these things and play fetch. You can stuff treats in that hollow center, and then when they roll around, the treats just randomly fall out and they got to search for them. Because of its unusual shape and the rubber, you can throw it and it'll bounce any which way. Hours of fun were going to be happening here. We were both so excited. Put that in the cart too. Made our way to the checkout aisle. Well, it's springtime, so the TSC is pretty busy. We had to wait in line. And as we're waiting in line, Boobaloo kept looking at his giant Super Mega Deluxe Kong in the cart. And he's starting to get a little impatient. Started huffing a little bit, shifting his weight from one hoof to the other. And I thought, oh man, we are right about the end of his shopping tolerance. We were next in line to check out. And so we were by all those spontaneous purchases. And that's when he saw it. There was a bag of sunflower seeds hanging there. And Boobaloo saw those sunflower seeds, and I don't know if it was the chicken in him or the duck or the turkey or what, but his eyes got real big. And he nudged at that bag of sunflower seeds. I said, no, Boobaloo, they're too small to go in your Kong. They'll fall out. No, Boobaloo, you have a toy. We have treats at home that we're going to put in it. We do not need sunflower seeds. And he let out a squeal. He accessed his inner swine. This squeal was like an ice pick in your brain. The person in front of us was finished checking out. It was our turn. I moved the cart forward. I pulled on his leash and he did a flippy flop in the air and landed on his back and was laying on the floor, all four hooves flailing in the air, squealing and snorting and grunting for those sunflower seeds. Dear God, I could feel the judgment of all the other people standing in line. They thought I was a terrible pet parent. What was I to do? I just wanted to check out and go home. But there was Boobaloo throwing a fit on the floor. I reached for the bag of sunflower seeds to put him in the cart to maybe shut him up. And this very kind woman behind us got out of line, came over, put her arm on mine. She said, don't do it, honey. Don't do it. You give in now. There'll be no end to it. So I put the sunflower seeds back on the shelf. Boobaloo still throwing his fit on the floor. I paid for the exotic animal feed. I asked the clerk to put the Super Mega Deluxe Giant Kong back on the shelf. Can't buy a toy and reward this kind of behavior. And then when I was done checking out, I asked if the clerk could help me get him out of here. And she pressed a button on the little walkie-talkie thing on her hip and spoke into a microphone. And before you know it, another clerk came with a pallet loader, you know, the kind of thing they use to move the big skids of feet around. He came up in the store and got underneath Boobaloo, hooves flailing in the air, lifted him up. And as soon as he lifted Boobaloo, Boobaloo just went limp and started to sob. Well, went back out to the pickup truck, the pallet loader, put him in the back. I snapped his safety harness, loaded the bag of exotic animal feed, and drove home. I could not bring myself to look in the rearview mirror and see what was going on back there with him. But by the time we got home, he was standing up in the back of the truck. I undid his safety harness. He leaped out into the backyard, was having a good time like nothing had happened. I, however, had post-traumatic stress. Well, we're about out of that bag of animal feed, and we knew to go back to the store. And we really could use a Mega Deluxe Super Giant Kong. I think I'll take him with me, but for sure, I am going to give him a bag of sunflower seeds before we leave.